Well, Ike, I know we got to hang out at CEDIA last year, and you know how much we love these live events. And MWAVE is something special. This is
Yeah.
not like your typical audio show that we go to, which is a lot of two-channel, very high-end stereo equipment, and mostly just music. But we're doing something different here.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun having home theater enthusiasts in front of us for really probably the first time for any of these events has been great. And the interactions we've been having, the compliments about the brand, and just getting a chance to meet people that we've known virtually now for 4 years has been really exciting too. And getting to see some really awesome rooms. We kind of joked the other day that we're not really looking at this as competitors here at this show. We're all here this week for you guys, and it's been a really fun time.
Yeah, Kansas City has an incredible home theater community, and it's like we brought what we thought was a pretty over the top system relative to what most people are going to have in their living room or their listening rooms. But talking to some of the folks here who are running 6, 8, 12 subwoofers, it's like, okay, all right, okay, I know what kind of community this is, but that's what we love, you
Yeah.
know? And a lot of owners who just come out and, they might just have a single SVS subwoofer looking to make that next upgrade. But what we really tried to build here at the show was a system that by most people's standards would be considered over the top,
Exactly. Yeah.
and it still can really pressurize this room and create an amazing experience. But it's also on more the inclusive side, I would say, in terms of some of the other demo rooms here, in terms of what you could actually be able to afford and fit in your living space.
Yeah, I mean, we did go large considering what we normally do because typically these events we're in a small hotel room, so we've got to kind of shrink down what we normally do. So those are like a 5.2.2 with smaller subs, and this week we brought out a full 5.2.4 home theater using two of our PV16 Ultra subs and four prime elevation height effect speakers. And have brought it all together. It's the largest screen we've ever demoed onto. We've got a 120-inch screen with a short throw projector running off a Marantz Cinema 50. So it is an amazing theater. I think the biggest we've done, and it's been great. This is for our first time at MWAVE. I think we've proven that we'll be back again, and we'll continue to have fun with this, and maybe get more involved here in the Kansas City market too, where we've got a couple of great retail partners as well.
And a couple highlights that we would show off that I think, maybe this was an unexpected star of the show was our prime elevation speakers here. These are our solution for Dolby Atmos height effects. And I think a lot of folks, when they think of Atmos, it's like, well, I either got to cut holes in the ceiling and do, sort of the in-ceiling application. I have those little reflective toppers, which, they don't really provide a convincing experience. But with elevation, you mount it high in a sidewall, you mount it directly to your ceiling. It's a very easy installation with the bracket. And so, people were blown away by the size of this room, what these relatively compact
Oh yeah.
elevation speakers were able to do in terms of dynamic impact and just bringing that three-dimensional sound field in. So as much as SVS is known for our colossal subwoofers and what we do on the low end, I think, the elevations were sort of one of the unexpected
Yeah.
surprises here at the show.
Some comments people were making were like, I haven't enjoyed Atmos in my home. I haven't felt the content that's really there. I'm not hearing it. And I've got these big, huge, expensive in-ceiling speakers, and it's been kind of blah. And then we put on a couple of demos that we really love, and we're like, okay, I guess I was wrong. So it was kind of interesting to have those interactions where like maybe I need to change something out. Maybe I need to contact you guys and maybe make sure some of my settings are right. So we've had some great interactions there. Doing our 101 seminar around subwoofers and having 80 people in here for that, and many of them way more advanced than what we were talking through, but having some really great questions and interactions there too. I think that was a great highlight. We were in here for over an hour just
Yeah.
geeking out on how to set up a subwoofer and how to pick a sub and how to set it up. The questions were great.
Yeah, and I think that's part of it. I mean, this is a hobby. This is something that you pursue excellence with. And I think when you can get a dialogue going amongst people who are really passionate about this and sort of get people's minds cranking around, maybe I have the setting a little bit off, or maybe the placement could be a little bit better. Putting it in an environment like this where there's no pressure, sometimes those forums become like the wild,
Yeah.
wild west and you're afraid to get shot down. But here it's just all about people wanting to help each other create the best sonic experience possible. And, for us to be sort of a catalyst for that, I think you're right. That was definitely one of the highlights. And, we were able to live stream it too. So we had our virtual community who were asking questions. They were getting a ton of value out of it. So, I love the educational aspect of it and sort of that cross section between the content that we love. We're big movie buffs. We get all the Blu-rays when they come out, and then be able to articulate, all right, this is what you're going to listen for in this scene. This is a great demonstration for the center channel speaker. You're going to get some of that voicing that we put into the speaker. You're going to get sort of that big front stage, not so much about the bass on this one, but setting people's expectations and then letting them hear what's truly possible from a system of this caliber.
And I think the other big takeaway we'd have is we weren't sure about bringing our small 2-channel product, but we did bring Prime Wireless Pro. And to have people sit in here for 30, 40 minutes to an hour, just letting us run through music. And in some cases, the response to that was bigger than the theater because when you see something like this, you don't anticipate the audio and the performance and the large size that it really perpetuates. And people are walking in while we're playing some music like, man, those towers sound amazing. And it's really just these guys here. And that just validates everything we're trying to prove that these things are capable of during the demos. And so playing some of the tracks we have on this and letting people experience that and then have them go to the website and be like, man, I need to get this.
And Larry's playing some tricks on people too. He bump them up, put a nice bass friendly track on, and people will be like, oh, that sub sounds good too. And then pull the wool off at the end and be like, oh, there's no sub. That's just all Prime Wireless Pro, which is fun.
Yeah, we just had the micro sitting here kind of as a decoy.
Yeah, and then I do have to mention this moment because Larry is notorious for his Ninja Turtles demo, and he was finally able to bring the power down and actually...
So we have one main experience and then a second zone in the room, and we've got a full 5.2.4 Dolby Atmos theater in the room. The front stage are our Prime Pinnacle towers, which are the middle of our 3-tower lineup that we offer. The center channel is our Ultra Center channel, which is our flagship center channel in our lineup, and we're able to showcase a lot of immense soundstage in this room. People, no matter where they were sitting, were able to get all the dialogue. On the sides, we have 2 PB16 Ultras as well. Watch your step back here to bring in the low frequency. You know, we got down to around 10 hertz with a few of the demos here in this space. Then behind us, we are running Prime bookshelves for the surrounds back there on stands. And so that's the 5 and the 0.2. And then the most fun I think we've had has actually been, as Nick mentioned earlier, the Prime Elevation height effect speakers. We have 2 pairs of them, and they're a different implementation than a lot of other ways that people go about doing Atmos, in that it's a direct radiating speaker, much like when you go to a movie theater. And the conversation we have around it is, when you're talking Atmos, where are the theater speakers when you go to a movie theater? They're not in the wall, they're not in the ceiling, they are on the wall, angled towards your listening position, or on the ceiling, directed towards your seating position. And that really made a case for why having an important height effect speaker was really something you should look at in your system. So that was the main system. We had a ton of great times playing a bunch of different movies, and then the other system we showcased was the Prime Wireless Pro powered bookshelf speakers. Right here, it's a 200-watt stereo powered pair with optical connections, HDMI 2.1, eARC, Bluetooth, which, you know, hey, if it's what you got to do, but we also have AirPlay 2 and Chromecast, which we prefer you use anyways. Then there's also a 24-bit 192 kilohertz DAC inside it. So if you do have any high-res streaming services you use, you can take advantage of that and open that up. And if you want to do something that's a little different than the conventional multi-room systems that are out there, you can put dozens of pairs of these speakers throughout your house and have them all communicate either via AirPlay or Chromecast or the DTS Play-Fi app, and you can play the same thing everywhere or play something different in every one of your rooms and let your family have their musical enjoyment wherever they are as well. So
it's worth mentioning too, all of this gear is connected with our SVS SoundPath accessories, which is actually one of the fastest growing parts of our business. We have HDMI cables, we have ultra speaker cables, optical, XLRs. We have SoundPath subwoofer isolation systems, which decouple your sub from the floor, which were actually a ton of questions we got in our seminar about that, and our wireless adapters, which make your subwoofers wireless. And again, what we're trying to do with the accessory and cable is just bring that same kind of value proposition that we've done with all of our speakers and subwoofers and really create that really high performance, nice, high quality, high end look.
We love our stuff, and you know, one of the things I think has also marveled everyone with the system is just we're powering it with an AVR. You know, we're using a Marantz Cinema 50, which isn't the extreme flagship, but it's not entry level. It's kind of the middle of their lineup, and that kind of blows people away that we're running a 524. Heck, it's the last couple days of the show, and my numbers are going everywhere. But running all that just off of an AVR. And the response are like, no way. They're all looking for extra power amps and stuff. So that's been quite a bit of fun too.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll say is, I mean, this is the second year of MWAVE, and to see how much it's grown since the first year, we can't wait to be back in 2024. I can say we may have some bigger and badder things coming up for next year.
He's
So
allowed to say that. I'm not.
I mean, that's not giving away too
Yeah.
much, but we know what the environment's like here and what the people in Kansas City are all about when it comes to home theater. So we want to deliver an experience that's going to meet their expectations, and I think we did that this year. But I think we can exceed it even
Yeah.
more so next
Let's
year.
bring 4 PB 1000 Pros next year.
All right, and just put them behind the curtain and see what happens. But
You heard that, and I'm not editing that out. So you heard that live.
Yeah, we'll
from-
bring some small subs next year just for laughs.
yeah, well, we're having a great time here. We'll be doing more events throughout the year around the country as well. But look forward to coming back to MWAVE in 2024.
Yeah. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everybody.
Thank you.